Hey everybody, it's me Jimmy, and today I'm going to be reviewing. I've been holding this game off for a while because I've been trying to beat it, and I keep on getting distracted. So I figure I'll make the pretty much the review of it now, and I will tell you how what I thought of the ending afterwards. That game was Skyrim. Stupid freaking light on the computer, but yeah, Skyrim. So now, I really like this game. Compared to Oblivion, which game case is over there somewhere. Compared to Oblivion, I thought it was a a massive improvement. I mean, they took everything that you like as the player who played Oblivion wanted to have changed, and they took everything that you did not like and they changed it, which to me shows that the creators care. So let me begin. Like I'm reading the review I posted on Facebook a while ago, and I haven't gotten around to make this review because trying to beat the game and been doing other stuff. I was waiting for my new computer, and I have my webcam built into my computer now, so this is amazing because I never had a webcam. As you can see, I can kind of make these videos without having to use my crappy camcorder to do them. Alright then, so Skyrim here. I found this was incredible. Now, to me, this game has the potential to be Game of the Year, and I like this game so much. It could be Game of the Year, but the thing is though, it could be a lot more. They could have done a lot more to this game and made it 1,000 times better than it was, which is hard to believe, but they could have done so much more to this game and made it so much better. I'll go through what I think as this review goes on. I'll try to keep this review around 30 minutes, but it'll probably get longer because I'll probably just start ranting. So the story is about you. You're a dragonborn. You're pretty much born with the blood of the dragon and that kind of stuff. So it starts off as you're going to be executed for some sort of crime. Not really explained that much, but it doesn't really matter because it doesn't really haunt you throughout the rest of the game. It just introduce you and to introduce the Jarl of Windhelm. They're like the rebellion. They're rebelling against the Imperials. There's like a big war going on with that, which you'll realize in the game. It's not part of the main story, but it's part of in-game. But it does not affect your gameplay in any way if you don't do anything. So so as a Dragonborn, you pretty much have the power to communicate with dragons, and you have the power to use dragons' abilities, known as shouts or thunes. They're referred to as both in the game. And these pretty much grant you the power to do a lot of stuff. I don't have them all. I probably only have about 10 of them, if that. But, I mean, they grant you pretty impressive power. The first one you get is like a force. It like pushes your enemy backwards, which is really helpful, especially if you're getting attacked by like a bunch of dudes. You get to shout. They're all on their backs, and you just walk them and kill them. It's pretty useful. I have a Thune, which is pretty much my favorite, where you can freeze them solid, and this gets progressively better, and it just instantly freezes them. and you can go up and just smash the shit out of them. And once ice breaks, they'll slowly get up, but it's like as if you knock them down. So they'll slowly get up, and this gives you time to walk out, take your sword, and just beat the shit out of them until they're dead. So it works out really nicely. But one of the other things you get for sure is you pretty much almost teleport. Like you just move like super fast for a short distance, which is awesome. What else? So like I don't want to get too much into the story. Pretty much, you're the hero, kill the bad guy. Pretty much the basic hero story. So now the graphics in this game, compared to Oblivion, which about about 5-6 years apart. Obviously the graphics should be better, and they were. But from what I watched of videos of Skyrim, their goal was to make the graphics as realistic as they could, and they did. They used this new program called the creation symbol, a system. I don't know why I said symbol for, but this creation symbol did its job, and it's only in this game right now. I don't know if it's gonna be in other games. Probably will be, but it premiered in Skyrim, and you can tell that the scenery and everything is pretty realistic. I mean, I do have a bit of problem with the snow. That's like you might see snow on stuff, and the snow just looks like it's just not real. It doesn't look realistic. But you'll see like snow blowing. That looks realistic. You'll see snow piled up. That looks realistic. But it's just like if you walk up to a treasure chest or you see snow on, let's say, a house, it's just like a white. I can't explain it. It just looks like it's just. I can't explain it. It doesn't look realistic to me. It kind of bugs me, and I don't know. But other than that, other than the snow part, it looks pretty good. And a lot of the graphics I like, which amazed me, were the dungeons. Unlike in Oblivion, which I'm going to be referring to Oblivion a lot because they changed these for the good, which I liked. Unlike in Oblivion, where they only had one game designer, a dungeon designer, and which kind of made it so, he has like 150 plus dungeons to make. He's not going to make every single one completely different. In Skyrim, they had like 8, I think, game designers. Dungeon designers. Which you might be thinking, well, that's not a lot, but in a game, and since I want to become a future designer, I kind of research this stuff. And to help save money, you don't want to be paying like 30 people to make dungeons. That'll cost a lot, and it would just make the game would probably be out quicker, but it would probably be worth. It just wouldn't be good, I guess. It would cost way too much, and just I don't know. I guess they wouldn't have the funding for it. They'd be too busy paying everybody else and not focus on the game. So you figure about 8 people, making a total of 150 dungeons plus. They all get about 20-25 dungeons to make. And everyone has a certain feel to it. And, of course, thank God. Because in Oblivion, every dungeon had that pasty, gray, dull color. If you can even call it a color. And that made me just, after a while, it made you want to puke. So, With this here, like the first dungeon you see when you're escaping the city after being attacked by the dragon. What's the dragon's name? Alduin? Yeah, I think that's the dragon's name. Alduin. If it's not, I apologize. But so this dungeon, it's really colorful. You have natural light sources. You see plants with actual, like, ferns that look like fern. They look like an actual plant instead of just a 2D, 3D combination. Which a lot of games did that in the past. Like, it looks 3D, but it's also 2D and that kind of stuff. It's hard to explain. And of course you also have like running water, which is really nice. And like some people like who just buy the games to play, you don't realize stuff like you might not realize stuff like this. You might just think, oh, I don't care, I'm just playing the game. But for other people, I focus on, like, when I play a game, I look at everything. I look for little tiny things that just you wouldn't normally look for. And like in my when I made those videos, the first thing I did, I knocked one of those carts into the water and tried to ride it like a boat. I don't know who else would have done that, but yeah, that's just something I do. And like, I just like looking at little details. So they have the water running nice, and even in that dungeon, if they don't have a full water source, they'll have a water dripping from the ceiling or slight rush of water coming in, and just stuff like that. They'll have like actual like eggs of like spiders and that kind of stuff, and just so much in the game that it's at first it is overwhelming. So where else was I? So like, pretty much one of the things first thing I actually discovered was the salmon jumping in the water, like jumping upstream. I found that was, I don't know, I was just overwhelmed by that. If you watch my video, which I will be making more, if you watched it, you would see how like how excited I was, because I was just like, wow. Like they could have easily just left this out and just had the running water, and you just would have been like, okay, cool. But they actually took the effort to put salmon jumping upstream, which was awesome. And also, not every spot, most of the time when the salmon were sitting, they sat in like cool, like calm spots. Where if, like, I go salmon fishing once in a while during the fall. And salmon will sit in the spots where it's calm so they can rest up before they take off again. So that's really cool how they did that. They actually took the time and effort to do this. And now I'm gonna get into the details of the creatures and monsters and animals and the battle system differences between Oblivion and Skyrim. So in Oblivion, if you've seen a wolf, it barked like a dog. It whimpered like a dog. It's pretty much a dog. And every battle in this game was pretty much the same thing. Just slashing away. I'm gonna actually grab a knife just to make it look better. Like, you're just slashing away. Nothing impressive about it. You're just doing this. I can't really reach out because I'll break my screen, but that's pretty much how it is. You're just swinging away. That's all you're doing. And every battle is the same. Everybody's in front of you, all trying to hit you, and it's just kind of clunky and unrealistic. A wolf fights the same way as a crab. A crab fights the same way as anything. And this kind of boring. So I liked how in Skyrim, everything had its personality. So it's like the wolves hunted in packs. Every time I seen a wolf, there was like 2 or 3. If there's only one, if you looked around, you might have found like a dead body of one of the wolves or something like that. So they always hunted in packs, but maybe one of them died or something like that. And they howled. Like if you're walking and you hear howl, that means there's a wolf. That means you're either are spotted by a wolf. Wolves are just howling because they howl, or you're going to be attacked by a wolf. Either or, there's a wolf near you. Also, what I realized is like sometimes the creatures will actually hunt you down. Like I had like this eyeball thing, like I would sneak just to see if anyone had noticed me in the wild. And I had an eyeball on me for the longest time. I looked around, nobody was near me. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I get attacked by like what was it, tiger? It just boom, it was there, just came out of nowhere. I was looking around, I couldn't see it. I didn't see anything moving. Maybe it was just me. I don't know if it's the game, but to me, it felt like it was actually hunting me. If so, congratulations. If not, it just must have been my mind. But that's an idea for future games if that wasn't so. And like, but the crabs, the mud crabs, unlike in Oblivion where they jumped at you, which crabs can't jump. They don't have the ability to leap. They just can't do that. So crabs will like bury into the ground. They'll be in water or like the soil beside water. So they live in their natural habitat. Alright. Drop my case. And they snap at you with their claws. That is pretty much how a crab fights. I mean, they still have crabs, looking at you like this and walking at you forward. And I don't know if crabs actually do that because I'm not a crab expert. But I know crabs walk on their sides and they kind of snap forward, so I'll let it slide. Sorry, I have like a bit of heartburn right now. So what else? So pretty much what I'm trying to get with this, everything feels more realistic. If you get attacked by a dragon, you know it's a dragon. You know it's flying down, it's breathing fire or ice or whatever it is at you, and you know you have to fight. And what I like with the game is that you don't have to, but it feels like you can use every single item you have. Like in Oblivion, I beat the entire game with a sword and a shield. That's all. When it came to parts where a bow, I was like, I don't need a bow. I'll just run in there and hit bitches. That's how it was. But with Skyrim, they have it so the dragon, they'll like never land half the time. So you have to literally grab your bow or use magic and hit the dragon out of the sky and make them crash. But they do actually crash, which is cool. If you shoot their wings, they will fall to the ground and smash into the ground and slide, and it does damage them too. So you actually do have to have, you don't have to, but you can have bow and arrow. Eventually the dragon will land. Oh, sorry. But until then, you're pretty much just stuck standing there getting your ass killed while you're waiting for it to land. So I kind of liked how everything had its own personal feel to it. And they also added puzzles to the dungeons. I mean, they're not really hard. If you look careful enough, you'll see what you have to do. But they do have puzzles, and some do get pretty challenging. They also have bosses, too, which are pretty awesome. And, like just one dungeon, I don't know if I posted this video or not, because my computer is having problems, but like my old one. And I had to put videos on my mom's computer so I can send them to YouTube. But because my mom had some problems and she had to go to dial-up, posting on video would take like 2-3 days. And if it takes too long, the video just won't post. So I can't post them. I'm gonna end up buying like one of those USB port things and bring them to here. And I'll post them that way. But so I did this level where I'm traveling through this cave and there's like this floor just full of like tiles that if you touch them, they'll go down and maybe a trap will be set. And when you get far enough, a giant spider, like bigger than the bigger ones you fight, will drop down. So it's a boss spider. So easy to be killed, but the thing is, it can still do a lot of damage to you if you're not smart enough. So I ended up using like the whirlwind sprint thing, and just like dashed around and making the spider burn itself. So I killed the spider by making it burn itself completely. So, but you can do stuff like that with this game. You can use traps to kill enemies. And enemies also have a mind of their own. It's not like if I'm behind a wall, enemy's just going to jump at the wall to hit me. It will go around to hit me. Sometimes this gets annoying when you're trying to shoot them. But, at least you're not stupid enough just to stand there and let you hit them. And the details are so, fine. That, you can see the inside of a creature's mouth. I was fighting a bear the other day. And, I paused it to, I went to change my weapon. And you can see, the ridges inside the mouth. The tongue was hanging out, that kind of thing. And you can see, the little ridges on the teeth. Where it might have bit into something, or you might have seen blood on the teeth. Which, that's incredible. They actually have graphics on something when it hits you. And what else? You can also assassinate people. This stuff I'm just bringing up just because, but if your sneak is if you sneak well enough, and if the opponent's health is less than what your damage will do, you will go behind them and assassinate and cut off their heads or slit their throats or cut their heads off or stab them through the back or something like that. You will grab them and kill them like that, which I found was amazing. And it took me a while to figure out how you did this, but you just pretty much need to do more damage than they do to you, than their health is. So you're better off using dagger because they have a times 16. You power up your assassination and your sneak abilities. So that way there, when you hit, you will instantly kill them. There are tons of weapon combinations, as you might have heard already. You can use 2 swords, 2 knives, 2 staffs, sword, shield, knife, shield, staff, shield, staff, knife, staff, sword. You can use heavier weapons, 2-handed weapons. Not really my forte, and I haven't really used them that much because they're just heavy and slow, and I like to get in there and just start hacking away. And when you're trying to swing a heavy axe, it's just, I don't know, it's not me. What else? What else have I written here? So, as I kind of mentioned earlier, that NPCs are a lot smarter. I mean, there are places where, if they're on your side, they are dumb as fuck. They'll just stand there for hours, just staring at a wall. But, the last video I posted on YouTube, it had me going, I'm bringing those guys to, Dragon's Reach. And, as you've seen, I was getting frustrated because they would just egg her onto anything, and they would egg her into a Imperial camp, away, far away. And they would just run in there and start killing everything, and of course, there's unbeatables. I hate these things, but you can't kill them. And of course, your guys are constantly aggroed onto them, and you can't break the aggro. And of course, you will end up losing because they will just end up fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting until you die or they're dead. Either or. Well, also they can't die either because they're also unbeatable because of the mission. So they'll just fight and fight and fight and fight and fight and fight and that's it. So you have to restart or you will die. Either or. And they're also the one time they aggroed on there again, and for some reason they started to attack me and try to kill me. I don't know why. And just a bunch of other shit. I also did a mission like 2-3 days ago, where some sort of poisonous gas was making the town not be able to sleep. So you had to take this guy there and have to protect them pretty much, and take end up the curse. So so I was doing this mission, and there's a part where you're in the dream world, and you have to go do the dream thing and do what your character was supposed to do. So you do this. When you awake, you are on the other side of the sports field, which is why you did this. Don't you have to kind of do the mission yourself. And of course, not knowing this, I just walked away because I think, okay, I still have to disarm the shield. It does not tell me to grab the soul gem. If it did, I didn't hear it. So I traveled through the whole thing, go all the way down to the bottom where you have to go. All of a sudden, the guy who was behind the shield was down here again. It's like, how did you get down here? So I'm trying to talk to the guy. He's like, we have to keep moving. He's moving upwards. I'm down here. It's like, what the hell? This is weird. And normally I don't restart missions because I don't like to cheat. But when it comes to this, I was like, you know what? Is this a glitch? Or is this something else? Maybe I did something wrong. And when I researched it, it told me that was actually to prevent a glitch. So something happened. There's a glitch if you grab the soul gem, the barrier might not disappear. So you have to travel down, and if you talk to him instantly, it would work. But it's pretty much an anti-glitch. But so I grabbed the soul gem afterwards because I restarted, grabbed the soul gem, went down. He followed me, but he was so stupid, I guess. I had to be right here to make him follow me. And if I went this far away, he just stood there all we gotta get moving. We gotta get moving. And of course, me losing my temper, I'm like, well, come on, you stupid son of a bitch. I'm standing right in front of you. And, it's funny on screen, but when I'm low in my room, it just kind of sad because I'm talking to myself. But, whatever. So, although some of the NPCs are smarter, blacksmith will be smithing, a cook will be cooking, and all that kind of stuff. They'll be doing that, but they are still pretty stupid when it comes to the fact that they're following you. I do like though that your attacks don't go through an enemy and hit somebody on the other side and then get them pissed off at you to try and kill you. That happened all the time on Oblivion. I got arrested in Oblivion because my sword went through him, hit the prince, hit the prince of one of the cities, and then he started to attack me. So I had to surrender. I was trying to surrender. He took my surrender because I wasn't going to kill him because he's an unkillable, and I wasn't going to make myself get arrested for no reason. Of course, I got arrested anyways, but that was just in Oblivion. So I'm glad they fixed that where if I hit something, it doesn't go through them. Sadly, however, they have NPCs that are stupid enough to walk in front of you when you attack. I was playing yesterday. No, not yesterday. The day before yesterday. And I'm using the Lydia character. She's following me around, helping me out. And I killed her so many times. And it's not because, she died bravely. She has died a few times because, she was actually fighting. I just restarted because, to be honest, she carries all my goods. And it's really helpful considering you can only carry so much. And if you kill a dragon, you're screwed. You can't go anywhere. So she just pretty much carries the stuff for me so I can get to a town or city to sell my shit off or put it away. And I actually have a video where she actually dies. The last one I posted. But I restart and finish the mission off. But like I killed her the other day because I was trying out 2 swords and like the special ability where you swing like I was doing that, and this usually one kills anything if you do it right. And she walks in front of me and gets hit by it more than one occasion. And of course I get all pissed off. Stop walking in front of me, you stupid bitch! And because walking in front of you hit them and they die, and that kind of stuff. But I can't get completely mad at the game because NPC's job are to kill the bad guy. They're trying to kill the bad guy, okay. But I've also gotten hit by my own teammate. Like, I was shooting her bull at something, right? And I'm getting hit by the arrows. I'm like, who the fuck is shooting me? Because usually I take out the archers first because they're just a pain in the butt. And I'm looking around for somebody who's shooting me, and all of a sudden I see her arrow coming at me, hit me. I'm like, okay, she's hurting me. Luckily, she wasn't trying to kill me on purpose. She just kept on missing very, very badly. Obviously, because it hit me. But yeah, the NPCs are smarter though. Like, impressively smarter. You kind of have to play it to see it, but. And also the lock picking. That was like improved like tenfold. I mean, like lock picking in Oblivion was frustrating. It was ball bustingly hard. And like when you failed in Oblivion, it wasn't like, oh, okay, that was just because of my skill. You failed just it was the game's design that made you fail. Because you had to time it just right. Just click those little pins up. And as soon as you figured out something, how to lockpick, it automatically changed somehow. And it took hours and hours. It took me 15 minutes to unlock a master lock at one time. Like 20 minutes or something like that. And I went through like 100 lockpicks. And lockpicks in that game were hard to get. You had to buy them from certain people, which, if you did not look for them, you would never find them. Or you had to find them off of dead enemies. Which were still, if you did find them, you might find 1 or 2. Oh yeah, you can't see my hands at all. 1 or 2. So, it just got frustrating, and eventually I just stopped picking locks. And some of the things in the lock, you might take like an hour to open a lock and have like shit in it. Like, master lock will have like 1 gold. It's like, what? I spent all this time with 1 fucking gold? I can't even replace the lockpicks with that. But luckily with Skyrim, they fixed the lockpicking, and when you fail, you don't get pissed off at the game. You go, well, with myself, I'll be like, you know what? That was me. That was not the game. I failed for my reasons. I was not concentrated enough. But pretty much with lockpicking, you have like a doorknob thing. You hit the the lockpick in, and you take something else. You have to rotate the lockpick and trying to try opening it up with the lockpick, pretty much. And if your lockpick's in the right spot, it'll open up right away. And like the harder the lock, the tighter it gets. I mean, that the closer your your pick will have to be to the opening. That the weaker lock, it could be like all this area you have to get like the lockpick into. And all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, like the harder level, like the master locks, you have to get the lockpick in that much area. Like you have to be precise. So I'm happy it varies, and it's difficult in a good way, not in just ball bustingly frustrating way. What else? Also, like the just like an honorable mention that I found interesting. Like my mom, when she was younger, she used to ride horses all the time, and she used to train them and that kind of stuff. And she told me that like when you get on a horse, you're supposed to get on it from the left side or right. That's a right. I forget what one it is. Let me read my review here. Yeah, you're supposed to get on from the left side at all times so you don't spook the horse. I mean, people don't, but you should. And what I found interesting with Skyrim is that you actually got on from the left side of the horse. I mean, I don't know if that was on purpose or by accident, but every time you see yourself getting on the horse, it's from the left side. But like if you get on from the back, like if you walk up to the back and get on, you show yourself getting on from the left side, etc. So I found that was pretty cool. What else? Now, so far with the game I haven't gotten too many glitches. But apparently every mission does have a small glitch in it. Luckily, I don't know if my game or my system, but I've been pretty lucky not to find any of these glitches. Knock on wood, that, this doesn't backfire and I get a bad glitch where I can't beat the game. But in case something does happen, I would recommend that if you guys save twice for a mission, so save just before you enter twice. So if something bad happens, you can just restart. If something bad doesn't happen, then you just continue on as normal. Just in case, if you don't want to do this mission, all of a sudden you are locked into this mission and you can't get out. And then you are screwed, you have to start the whole game all over again, and I know by experience with not this game, but other games, if this happens, you're just like, I'm done, and you will never ever touch that game again. I've had a lot of games like that. I don't have any here because if I did, I got rid of them. But I'm trying to think of any games like that. Well, I can't think of any. But you probably have played games like that too, and you know what I mean. You don't bother, remembering them because there's no reason to. What Now I have found a few glitches with water, where you'll see like a stream of water, but it'll be like there's water here and water here, but in the center here there's no water. It would just be nothing. You don't see any water. You might see some ice floating above it, but it's just clear. The first time I found this, I was shooting a saber-tooth tiger, and I thought there's no water at all. So obviously I shoot the tiger, and the tiger gets pissed off and chases after me. But when he runs into the water, he just started I mean, what I thought was just nothing, he started floating. And I was like, what the hell? So I would approach, also, my guy would just start floating around, and I'll go in the third person, my guy just all like, "Wee." I'm just like, what the? Okay, and like the tiger, he's just, like, on cloud nine. He's floating. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And like, Lydia's doing the same thing. So I get out and I look on like above and I see ice on top. So it's like, okay, so this water for like a very very massive batch like area. There's no water, just ice going above it. So I mean, it's not that bad. So it doesn't really damage your gaming. Like if this here made you say this game sucks, yeah, because of that, then you get mad too easy. I mean, is it annoying? Yes. Could they have fixed it? Yes. But it's not like it's gonna just destroy your whole game. Was there any other massive collection? Like this glitch here, maybe it's not for on yours, but the murder house and Windhound, that's kind of where I live because I joined the rebellion. Like the murder house. I'm not gonna get into the details of the mission, but after you beat it and you join the rebellion, and that you can end up buying the house. But the problem is, like after you repair the house, like after like you clean it up and you get everything, you buy all your decorations and all that kind of stuff. I found out like when I go into the house for about 2 seconds, two or more, like give or take, I'll freeze. Like the whole thing will just freeze, and then I'll just be able to do what I was doing. I don't know why. I don't know like if it's like the transaction in between. If the game's trying to switch between what was and what is now, I'm not sure. But that did get a little frustrating at first because I was like, oh shit, my game's gonna freeze. Oh shit. Oh, okay, good. And after a while, it's just like, it's nothing. It doesn't really damage me that much. It just slows me down, and it could be worse, right? But it's not like the worst possible thing ever. It's just small. Most of the glitches I found in Skyrim were small that I have experienced myself. You guys might be different. Maybe you guys found more glitches than I did. If you have, okay. But from my experience, I haven't really found too many that like killer glitches. In the future, this might change. Cross my heart that it won't. But hopefully it doesn't change pretty much. But I have heard some missions get really glitchy. I think it's just like the game that they sent out pretty much. Some games are different from others. I was probably just lucky. What else? Oh, also on a side note, with the murder house that help prevent bad stuff from happening. The chests that are in the house, like if you don't decorate it, even if you don't own the house, if you put stuff in the house, it will not disappear. But if you put stuff in the chest and then buy the house afterwards, because I didn't know how to buy the house, I was having problems buying the house. I had to do certain stuff in order to buy it. So I just put my stuff in the house and walked out. And if you change, like let's say the living room, the treasure chest there will disappear, and you will lose anything you had in that treasure chest. And if you change it, like the bedroom upstairs, and if you have stuff in the chest upstairs in the treasure chest before you change your bedroom, that stuff will also be deleted. Just a note that If you have valuables in there, it will be deleted if you don't take it out before buying upgrades for your house. But what else? Well, also I like how like with the bookshelves you can put books in the shelves instead of in Oblivion where you took the book and just slammed it in there multiple times until it stayed. And like you just didn't care if it was like this or like this. When you got the book in there, you're just like, I'm done. So I like how with this you can pick the books you want and put it all nice and neat in the shelf. But it's still the same situation with other objects. You have to, let's say you want to put stuff somewhere, no, like, let's say you got a cool weapon from a mission. You don't want to use it because it's weak. It's a souvenir for that mission. So you don't want it to, so you don't want to sell it. So after your weapon racks, I have problems sometimes with the weapon racks. Sometimes they won't work. The Ghost Blade, I don't know if you guys have found it, but if I put it on the weapon rack, instead of it being here, with my other hand, there it is. Instead of it being here, it would be like over here. So it would be like half off the weapon rack, or inside the display cases. I don't know why this was. It's kind of frustrating. So I just ended up putting that weapon into a chest. But I also had problems just activating the weapon racks and display cases. So I like that they tried to fix this, but I also had problems with it. But yeah, like as I was saying, it's like if you're trying to, maybe put like a shield up against the wall, good luck. It will never work. If you get it to work, even if it's not precise how you wanted it, just leave it, because it'll take you days to get it where you want it to. Like this in Oblivion, if I grab the weapon like from here, it will lift up like this. If I grab a weapon from here in Skyrim, it will just be all like, it'll just kind of just dangle. Like, it'll just kind of just float there. Like I tried to pick up like a bowl of soup, and just just to put it somewhere, just to see how the graphics were like this, and the soup would just went like this. Like here's the inside of the bowl, it just went like this. No matter how I picked it up, if I grabbed it here, it still went like this. No matter how I grabbed it. So, no matter what, it just went like this. And it's like they completely took out the grabbing stuff from Oblivion and made it worse, but they also added in the fact that you could still put stuff on shelves. So, where they improved, they also destroyed. So they actually made picking up stuff by hand worse, in Skyrim than they did in Oblivion, but they improved it by allowing you to put books on shelves. So a little better, a little worse. You be the judge of that. But I just realized we are at 48 minutes and 35, 36, and 37 seconds. So I'm gonna wrap this up by just going through what I thought of the game, like just my scoring. I will also leave a link to the actual written review that I put on my Facebook channel. You can go check it out if you want to add me as a friend. I don't care. So my rating for graphics, I gave it a 10. I mean, I found the graphics were amazing and just excellent. For gameplay, I gave it a 9 out of 10 because just a slight NPCs might have been retarded. Maybe the scenery disappeared, that kind of stuff. That might kind of ruin your gameplay. I should have maybe knocked it off one for the graphics, but I found the graphics were excellent besides that one little glitch. So I just let it slide. Maybe other games were different. Sounds a lot better. They had more than like 3 voice actors. So it's not like everybody sounds the same. But like sometimes you get somebody screaming after they're dead. So you cut their heads off. Or it's like 3 seconds later, you hear them screaming. It's like, how are you screaming? You are dead. When you're dead, you're dead. You can't scream while dead. So that kind of bugged me. And like not just that, you get like battle music and you're not getting attacked. Like you'd be walking. It's like, okay, there's nothing here. Okay. All of a sudden the music was all calm. I've also had calm music when I'm getting attacked by something. It's like, okay. Like I killed this troll, and the music was calm afterwards. So I was like, okay, cool. I can relax. I turn around and there's a dragon like breathing fire at me. Like, well, the music that was completely jarring. It was just like, okay, thanks for giving me a heads up, game. So it just kind of sounds like that. Like it didn't go in at the right times. So maybe I don't know how hard it is to put sound in to games because I haven't actually made my own. It might be a little difficult to get in at the exact times. But when battle music plays, when you're just casually walking down the street, it's just jarring. It's like watching a fight scene in a movie, having all kinds of action going on. All of a sudden, like elevator music while you're fighting, like while they're fighting, or having hardcore action music while you're on an elevator. It's jarring. So that's why I knocked it down 1 point for that. Now storyline, I haven't beaten the game, so I can't be all like the story's perfect. I gave it a 10 out of 10 because I didn't see anything wrong with it. You're the Dragonborn. Your goal to kill the bad guy. Pretty simple. I mean, in between might not have been that good. I don't know, but pretty much, you're Dragonborn. Go fight the bad guy. That's the story to me. You're the hero. Fight the bad guy. Pretty much it. The story in between might have been interesting. I just think I just finished off the mission where I got my first Elder Scroll, where you had to put that cube into the thing and line up the lights and the thing. I don't know what the purpose of that was for, really, but I gave it a 10 out of 10. I don't know, maybe I was being generous, but whatever. And replayability. This game you can replay over and 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 over. Excuse me, over. So I give it a 10 out of 10. Because, like, this is one of those games where, like, you don't have to beat it. I've been playing all this time and haven't beat it. I played it for 3 weeks in a row, haven't beat it. And if I did beat it, guess what? I would still want to play it. Because I can do other shit. I can join the Imperials. I can join the other people. I can join these guys. I can join those guys. I can do other missions. I can go through other dungeons. I can do anything. I can change my weapons. I can do nearly anything. I can change my race. See how people treat me as a different race. I can do anything. And apparently you can also marry people in this game. I'm not really sure if that's true. But yeah, you can also maybe get married in this game. I mean, maybe that's not what you like. Maybe it might not be like what I like. It might not be like what other people like, but some people do like that stuff. So you can do a lot of stuff. You can do anything in this game. You can even go to freaking college. Okay? I'm just throwing that out there. So as you can see, it does get pretty awesome. Now total, I gave it a 48 out of 50. So it's total like 9 out of 10. So it makes this game a solid 9 out of 10. Pretty much what I explained. I knocked 1 point off of gameplay because of the small glitches. I knocked 1 point because the music will change drastically to a tense battle music for no reason, or sometimes blah blah blah. You get like a bunch of people talking to you at the same time, or you get somebody talking to you while you're like miles away. So that kind of stuff. But all in all, great game and a great buy. It's worth the store price of $50-$60. Like I paid $50-$60 for this game, and I haven't even beaten it yet, but I got my money worth. I've been playing since November 11th. The day it came out, I started playing it, and I got my money's worth of it. I play games where, like, I'll pay $50-$60 for it and beat it tomorrow. Like Fable 3, I keep going back to this game. Pay $50 for it, beat it without even trying to. I was just trying to do nothing. I was just trying to do side missions and beating the game. That should not happen. So, luckily with Skyrim, it wasn't like that. Because I was scared to death to buy Skyrim because of Fable 3. Because I was afraid to pay $50 for this game and get ripped off. Luckily, that didn't happen. But of course, if you get this game cheaper, you're a lot better off. But, you just spent less money for a great game. But they could have made this game a lot better. I was talking with like one of my friends from school, and I kind of like this idea. Like they should have had a co-op option in this. Like if I could have like my buddies over, even if not on live, just to have people over at your house and playing this game, that'd be awesome. But like, can you imagine you and your buddy going into a dungeon or fighting a dragon on this game? Having a co-op option? That'd be awesome. That way there, you don't have to worry about the stupid computer fucking you over. You can have your own friend fucking you over. So, yeah. Holy shit. 57 minutes? Wow. You know what? I'm just gonna end this now. This is getting really long. You might kind of want to watch this in 2 parts. I probably will not bother editing this because I'm kind of lazy, and I have like a new Windows movie editor, and it doesn't work how I want it to. It kind of bugs me, so I need to get like another movie editor thing. But if I do edit this video, then okay, but not. Just pause it halfway through, go to the bathroom, go do what you have to do. I apologize for it being so long. Please feel free to check out my other stuff. I have Pokemon videos, obviously Skyrim videos. I'm making more Skyrim in the future, more Pokemon in the future. I have a show called Retromania where it's just old games I play. I mentioned talking about a Retromania challenge where you say a hard game for your systems. I'll try and beat the game under what you tell me how to beat it, or just how far you gotten, so I can try to get there. And just also, obviously, I have game reviews. I will be making more. I still want to do a Tales of Vesperia game review and others, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I could go on, but I'm not going to. I could like pick against this game. I could just say this game's horrible for little things, but no. So thanks for watching. I will be back in the future. This was a long review, but for this game, it's worth it. So I'll probably be back later on just to post a small review on like the ending, if I feel like it. If not, I won't. I'll leave a link for you guys to read the Facebook review. Thank you, and yeah, I'll see you guys.